अपने आप को रिन्यू करके गुरु महाराज की ब्लेसिंग्स हम सबके साथ शेयर कीजिए। जय गुरु जी आंटी, ओवर टू यू। आंटी जी आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं अपने आप को। आपको अनम्यूट रिक्वेस्ट आपकी स्क्रीन पे भी आएगी आंटी। जय गुरु जी। जय गुरु जी साधना आंटी।
हाँ, अब आप मेरे को सुन सकते हैं?
यस आंटी, इट्स लाउड एंड क्लियर। जय गुरु जी आंटी।
जय गुरु जी, जय मेरे मालिक, जय बख्शिशों का सागर, जय प्रभु स्वामी। शुक्राना गुरु जी, शुक्राना हर सांस के लिए, शुक्राना गुरु जी, शुक्राना कि आपने हमको अपना बनाया, अपनी मेहर हमारे ऊपर रखी, सबके ऊपर ऐसी ही अपनी मेहर रखना। जय गुरु जी, जय गुरु जी। I started my journey with Guruji in 1995. I had a car accident in Delhi and I had a whiplash injury, but I live in London. So 2 days later, I left for London and the pain in my neck became really very bad. So whilst I was in London, I went from doctor to doctor to doctor, but the pain just kept getting worse and worse. My husband was very busy those days, so whichever doctor promised to fix my pain, I would go, and I was just in the dark. Then my father said, I don't think you're getting any help in England. You come to India and I'll sort you out here. So I came to Delhi, and in Delhi, here also, I went to many doctors. I went to Bombay, I went to the big hospitals. The pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So much so, by this time, I was not able to move my left hand. It had become like a piece of wood. I would have to pick up my hand to put it down. It just had no feeling, no movement. And the pain had started to travel to the other side, and I was getting no help from any doctors. We lived in Greater Kailash those days, and my mother in law said, there is a Guruji here. Would you like to go and see him? So I said, Hanji, Zarur, jo marta hai wo kya nahi karta. So I went to Guruji's ashram there, which was very close to our house. So I went and met Guruji, and I said, Guruji, and the first thing he did was saying, Hazri laga. So since it was so close to the house, I would go morning and evening and morning and evening to Guruji. Then after 3-4 days, I said, Guruji, I have left my children alone in London. They are very small. Please fix my hand. So he looked at me and he raised his hand and he said, Ja, thik kar ditta. And believe me, Sangatji, I went home. The next morning, I had complete movement in my hand as though nothing had happened. I left for London, and as those days we would only come twice a year when the children, or once a year when the children had holidays in the winter, summer was too hot to come. So when I came in the winter, I asked my mother-in-law, "वो गुरुजी किधर है?" And she said, "वो तो इधर से चले गए, मुझे पता नहीं." I let it be. The next year I came again and I asked, "वो Guruji mile?" And she said, "Nahi mile." 2 years had passed, I forgot about it. After 10 years, my mother-in-law said, "I have found that Guruji, would you like to go to him?" I said, "Yes." So this is me going to his darbar in Empire Estate after 10 years. And one look at me and he says, "Tu 95 de baad hona hi hai?" So I said, "नहीं Guruji, आप मुझे मिले नहीं, मुझे मिले नहीं." So he said, तू ते बड़ी सेल्फिश निकली। मैंने बोला नहीं नहीं गुरुजी, in this big darbar of so many people, he was just bashing my ego. तू ते बड़ी selfish निकली. So I was so embarrassed, I didn't know what to say. Then he said, "बैठ जा and अपनी file खुलवा." So I sat down, and then thereafter I was allowed to come to Guruji's Darbar 4 times a week, where people were told to come once a week or twice a week or once in 15 days or once a month, because it was a colony and the neighbors would get very upset with a lot of people that were coming there. So there I started my journey with Guruji, and it was such a beautiful journey with so many instances, so many anecdotes, so many sweet moments that we shared with Guruji. I will share a few with you today. So we used to live in Prithviraj Road, and to go to Empire Estate would take us about 45 minutes. One day, my mother-in-law and myself we used to live together, and one day she and myself, whilst we were going, and she had suffered from asthma. So 5 minutes into the journey, she said, "Oh, I've left my tissue behind." So I said, "Mama, don't worry, we'll get tissue on the way. There are lots of shops and there are lots of places we can get a tissue. Once we go home, then it takes very long to get out. Something or the other will happen." So she said, "Okay." We left. We passed lots of markets. There was not one tissue available in any shop. We went to the halwais, we went to the general store. Nahi, abhi khatam hua, khatam hua. We did not find a tissue. So by this time, my mother-in-law is getting very nervous that I don't have a tissue. What do I do? So people were not allowed to take their cars into Empire Estate because it would get very crowded. But because my mother-in-law couldn't walk, our car had the special permission to drive right to Guruji's gate. So and in between, the driver had said, "Aap Guruji ke paas ja rahe ho. Why are you worried about a tissue?" She said, "No, no, no, no. I have to have a tissue." We reach Guruji's darbar. I mean, the car stops outside Guruji's gate, and there's a car in front of us. And just one hand comes out, and a box of tissue is on that hand. And only my mother-in-law sees it. And she says, "Tissue." So Guruji works in such miraculous, strange ways that, like he said, when you come into this darbar, you leave your kintu parantus outside, leave your doubts outside, because unnatural things can happen. The things that you can't even imagine will happen if you have faith, if you surrender. So that was also little things like this start to get you more and more faith. Then what happened? My husband didn't believe in Guruji fully. So Guruji used to call him 50-50 uncle. But that faith changed when my son got cancer, and he had testicular cancer, and Guruji stood by him, helped him, he got through it, and today he is blessed with 2 twin daughters, which I believe are miracle children, because it could not have happened any other way, but besides his rehem, his kripa. Then I was sitting in the Bade Mandir one day, and I just reached, मैंने माथा टेका और मैं उधर ही बैठी थी, and I hear a voice in my ear, Guruji saying, "बाहर जाके सत्संग कर." I got quite shocked. Guruji is not in his chola anymore at this time, and I hear his voice distinctly telling me to go outside and do satsang. So I get up. Now, those days we were still allowed to talk. We would get samosa and chai prasad. But I didn't. It was quite crowded, and I didn't know where to sit. Who do I have to do satsang with? I don't know. So I take my chai prasad and my samosa, and I go and there was one place. I go and sit there. And there's this man and his daughter that are sitting there also having their chai prashad. And just to start a conversation, I said, how long have you been coming to Guruji, and how anything happened? So he said that I used to come to Guruji a long time ago, but I had a divorce and I lost custody of my child. And so I never came back. But now I have got custody, so I have brought her here and to say thank you. So he said, so I said, oh, I started telling him of my experiences about Guruji and what all can happen, what are the miracles that can happen, that have taken place whilst, whether we are in the darbar, out of the darbar, wherever, provided we have faith. And his young daughter turns around and tells me, I'm so happy you said this because I was wondering, I've come to the Paramandir first time, I don't know what this is all about. So you have told me, and I know something about it. So there is no coincidence. I heard Guruji tell me to go outside and do satsang. I came and didn't know where to sit. Then I come and sit right next to the man whose daughter is thinking, will somebody come and tell us about Guruji? So that was also like, this is his work, that we are all his conduits, that we can do his work. One day I was going from the Bada Mandir out to the main road, and my car was allowed, but there are a lot of people whose cars are not allowed. And normally I give a lift to somebody who's wanting to go to the end of the road. This young lady, came and sat in my car. And so again, I asked her, how do you know Guruji? So she says, I'm in a lot of problem. I have a lot of difficulty. So I said, what happened? So she said, MCD has not paid our salaries for so long. And my mother-in-law thinks it's my fault. So she keeps getting angry on me and tana maruing, and I don't know what to do. I'm so helpless. So I've come to Guruji to pray. Sangatji, I opened my bag. I don't know how much money there was or what was it. I just took out all the money and I gave it to her. It turned out to be exactly the same amount that MCD owed her. Now, I don't know the girl. I don't remember the girl. I cannot recognize the girl. But she would have gone home and said, Guruji has done this miracle for me. So, Jai Guruji, it's his divine powers that he works through wondrous, mysterious ways. And we only have to be there to pick it up. Then I had a hysterectomy. And so I told Guruji, these days I will not be coming to the mandir. I'm going for my hysterectomy. So the day I was admitted into hospital, I don't know if you know Roma auntie or not, but he called Roma auntie and he said, तू जा हॉस्पिटल और वो साधना आंटी को मिल गया. So she says, Guruji, it's the operation today. I'll go after 2-3 days. I don't really know her. So I'll go after 2-3 days. So he said, no, you go now. So she came to the hospital. I was just being wheeled out of the operation theater. My sisters were there, and I see Roma, and I'm quite surprised that how come she has come. And since I don't know her well enough, I just, like you in the mandir, you see somebody and you just say hello. That was all my connection with her. And then she said, she came back. Guruji said, Huai? Then she said, Hanji Guruji, main Huai. He said, you go again tomorrow. So she, so surprised that again she has to come. She doesn't know me, twice to the hospital. I was in hospital for 7 days. Guruji sent her to hospital 7 days to see me, to send his blessings. And I got up from that operation so fast, so fast. Normally you take quite a long time. But it was almost, after I went home, I was almost normal. The only thing that would happen was that I would start crying at every little thing, because I think the hormones were going all crazy. And then I sat with Guruji one day and I told him, Guruji, मैं तो बार बार रोने लग जाती हूँ, पता नहीं क्यों, मेरे को रोने का दिल करता है. So he says, एक लोटा ले आओ, छोटा, बड़ा वाला नहीं, छोटा ले आओ, चमकता हुआ लोटा. So next day I brought the lota and gave it to him, and he blessed it and he said, you just have water from this. Don't have to have a bath from it, just drink the water. And thereafter, the tears suddenly dried up. There was no crying, there was no such thing like that. That was one incident. Then there were so many things I wanted to say. No, they've just gone out of my mind, Guruji. One day I asked Guruji, Guruji, आप सबको दर्शन कराते हो भगवान के, किसी को कृष्णा, किसी को गुरु नानक देव जी, किसी को राम, जिन जिन में वो बिलीव करते हैं, आप उनको दर्शन देते हैं, आप मेरे को क्यों नहीं दर्शन कराते हो? And he says, कमली, तेरे सामने तो रब बैठा हुआ है. That was the first time he said to me, I am God. I am God. You have to believe, you have to surrender. Only then you will feel the thing. It didn't really, at that time, I said yes, but it did not sink in for a long time, till, after he passed. And then suddenly it dawned that we were so lucky and so privileged to be able to see him, but we didn't recognize him in that manner because he took the human shape. But the new Sangat is so blessed and they experience so many miracles because they have so much faith. They have so much faith, and may that faith keep going deeper and deeper, and may all of us be blessed. Then, what else shall I say? Yes, one day in the evening, we used to come for Sangat, satsang and sit with Guruji. And Guruji told about 60, 70 people that please reach here at 7:30 in the morning, और आप ये गाड़ी में लेके आएंगे. So, and he told me, after he told everybody, then on the side he tells me, साधना आंटी, तू भी आ जाना अंकल के साथ और अच्छे कपड़े पहन के आना. Now we don't know where we are going or what is happening or what the story is, but he told me अच्छे कपड़े पहन के आना. I would like, so in the morning we reached, and he told us that we are going to Chandigarh for a wedding. So he started telling everybody who sits in which car, and he told us to bring one particular car of ours. And in front of us, he told somebody else to sit in that car and start the journey. So we are looking, and we were like towards the end, that where are we going? Our car has been given away to someone else. And then Guruji said, no, you and uncle are coming with me. So Sangatji, we were so blessed to be sitting in the car with him for all the way to Chandigarh and all the way back. And then I told him I was wearing a bangle. I thought it was very pretty. And I wanted Guruji to bless it because I was used to wear it all the time. So I said, Guruji, can you bless my bangle? Mera bangle bless kar do. And he so sweetly, he says, Tune mera bangle dekha? So it was the Katia bangle with the diamonds on it. And I said, Hanji, Hanji, Guruji. And then he sang for us all the way to Chandigarh, Punjabi songs, and sang all the way back for us for Punjabi songs. So it was just, I cannot explain to you the treat that it was. He made my husband press his legs all the way going to Chandigarh, all the way coming back from Chandigarh. And my husband says when he was young and he had to press his father's feet at night before he went to bed, after 10 minutes, he was looking for a way out of that situation. He says, for hours I did that. I was not feeling tired at all. I was not at all, I was rejuvenated. And of course, everybody knows that if you pressed Guruji's feet, your own hands were smelling of roses. And the smell didn't go till the next day. So then he told my mother-in-law that 25 साल की भक्ति का मैंने फल दिया तेरे बेटे को. So Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji. And then I had cancer 3 years ago, but I was not scared. I felt Guruji by my side all the time. There was no grumbling, there was no screaming, there was no, I'm in too much pain, or I'm uncomfortable, or I'm sick. I just felt his hand on me all the time. I felt I was supported. He is there with me. Why do I have to worry? If this is in my thing to go through this, he will take me. I am nobody. He is the one he's given this to me. He'll take me out of it. So that was also a feeling of great intense faith that I had, that Guruji is the Karta Dharta of everything. We are nobody. And another thing he always said to me, which I never got, I never understood, because we people are looking for instant gratification. So I would ask him for something, and if it wasn't done, 2 days later I would say, Guruji, hua nahi. He says, bar mangya nahi chahiye. I wouldn't understand that. I couldn't understand that why I'm asking for something and he's not doing it for me. And I'm reminding him. He says, no, you've just made your hazri, you've done the hazri. And then he would call people to explain it to me that don't ask again and again. Like the first Shabad says, Bin Mangya, he knows everything. So you just ask for his bakshish, his kripa. He knows everything. He knows what you want, because maybe he wants to give us something bigger than what we ask. But we are limiting him. So don't get stuck in asking. Whatever is up to him, and if it's good for you, he will give it to you. If it is not good for you, he won't give it to you. But we don't understand that. We are always thinking, nahi, Guruji kar sakte hain, kuch na kuch to kar sakte hain. But that realization does come with a little more time. As you get more and more jurud with Guruji, he makes you understand these things. Then Guruji once asked me for a pair of shoes that he wanted. He showed me the design and he said, you travel so much, you get me this pair of shoes. So the first thing I would do when I traveled to any country was go and look for Guruji's shoes. I couldn't find the same. I looked this way, I was looking. 9 countries I went looking for those shoes. I did not find those shoes exactly. They were a year old. The model must have been discontinued. I don't know. But I went to 9 countries looking desperately how I will get those shoes. Eventually, I said, let me just buy this pair of shoes. I can't go empty-handed. I can't say again and again, I can't find the shoes. So I bought a pair of shoes and I'm quite excited that, okay, they're not the same, but at least they are similar. So I then gave them to Guruji and I said, Guruji, mere ko wo wale nahi mile, but ye wale mile. Then he said, ye to nahi the. And I don't know, somebody was standing there and he took those shoes and gave it to him. I was feeling so upset. Oh, मैं इतनी कोशिश करी, मैं इतना करी, and he just gave it to somebody else. Again, it's like I did this, मैं मेरी. Then I met another Sangat lady, and I was telling her this story. I've been to 9 countries, and she says, "I wonder why Guruji asked you for shoes, because I get him all his shoes." So I don't know what the reason was. Maybe he was helping me to avoid something or do whatever, that I would spend my time looking for those shoes rather than for. So I still haven't got the answer, but Guruji knows, and what he was trying for me to avoid. But that's his kripa. Then what do I say? Uh, he used to he used to take us. Some days he would say, you, and we are going out for dinner. We went with Guruji to the Meridian Hotel for Chinese food, and I'm saying, how are we going for dinner? What is happening? Who is paying this bill? But before we knew it, everything was ordered, everything was taken care of. Guruji didn't eat anything, but I don't know what that reason was. So there are a lot of things that happen. We don't know what they are. Guruji had a purpose. So there was a friend of mine, and she asked me. She was divorced, and she asked me, "Will you introduce me to somebody?" So I. There was my daughter had gotten married, and there was somebody in her in-law side, and I said, "Why don't I introduce the two of them together?" So I arranged a meeting at the Meridian Hotel, and I said, we'll just go and have a cup of coffee and come back. So we went there. I left after 10 minutes and let them talk to each other, have a cup of coffee, and I came back. When she came to the mandir, Guruji asked her, "Where did you go?" So she was so worried, and she said, "I went with Sadhna auntie." So Guruji said, "Sadhna auntie left in a little while. What are you doing there?" And he was so angry with her. Then when I came in the evening to the Sangha, he got so angry on me, saying, "You don't do this stuff. This is all kichad. Get out of it. Turn your attention towards him, towards the Lord. Ek raste chalo." And he definitely changed our minds. As you keep going for satsang more and more and more, your mind starts, because there is no sermon, there is no discourse, there's nothing like this. But hearing the Shabads again and again, the mind changes, the mind becomes purer, you become more committed, more, you want to surrender, you want to do, you want to be connected. There is such a pull, it's like a magnet. Guruji is like a magnet that pulls you. Um, little incidents that happened. One day, I took a friend of mine to Guruji, and she was suffering from cancer, and she had been coming to Guruji, but everybody was very afraid of Guruji, because there was so much discipline, there was so much respect, that nobody spoke at that time. Very few people could speak to Guruji. So she knew that I used to sit quite close to Guruji and I could talk to him. So she asked me, she said, "Will you please put in a word for me to Guruji?" Now, who can put in a word to Guruji? I mean, this is our silly thinking. So I said, Guruji, ये मेरी friend है, इसको cancer है. Guruji got so angry on me and her and said, go to the back, go. I was feeling so upset. I said, Guruji, I mean, I've never been asked to go to the back. What happened? Why is he telling us to go to the back? But going to the back or going and sitting right next to Guruji didn't make a difference. Everybody was in Guruji's purview. Whether you're in the back, whether you're hiding behind somebody, whether you're right in front of him, he knew everything and what was going on in everybody's mind. He knew. There was, it was just our own ego that kept saying that I want to sit right next to him, I want to do this, I want to do that. But no, it was not like that. Then he, my husband had a Ferrari, and I told him, Guruji, we have a Ferrari. And he kept saying, Sadhana auntie, tu Ferrari leke aayegi aur mere ko ghumaiegi. I said, Guruji, main to gaadi chalati nahi hu. He said, nahi, tu leke aayegi Ferrari aur mere ko ghumaiegi isme. How to tell him how to get this car here? I can't drive. Anyway, after Guruji's passed, his Swaroop is always in the car. It's always going for a drive with us. And then it was wonderful to spend the evenings together, because after 9 o'clock, after the Langar Prashad was over, then everybody had to go for Agya, and people used to duck and dive that they wanted to stay back. And but he would know, he'd know who's trying to do this, and he would say, come on, let's go, let's go. I was quite blessed that I could sit there. And those days we would be, after Guruji, everybody had eaten langar, then Guruji would go for a drive, then change his clothes, then come back and sit on the floor and chat with us. And it was just very wonderful. Then we would have a second langar, sometimes a third langar, sometimes a drive to the Bade Mandir at that time. It was just such a beautiful journey. My mother-in-law was heavy, so she would always go to Guruji and say, Guruji, meko patla kar do, meko patla kar do. And there was this Sandy Starkman. He was quite big. And Guruji had made him thin. I don't know what happened. He slept for 3 days. When he got up, he was slim. So my mother-in-law also said, mere ko bhi patla kar do. So then he said to her, तूने ब्याह कराना है और तेरी फब्बत इतनी अच्छी है, तो why do you want to do this? These are silly things that you ask for. Then, what else can I say that happened with Guruji? He would send us to weddings. We don't know the people. We just go as uninvited guests. But when we are there, we are really looked after because we are Guruji's guests. And there were so many things I wanted to say. It's just slipped my mind. And then Guruji asked me once to top the restaurant खोल beyond Haldiram in Gurgaon. And I said, Guruji, मैं इतनी दूर रहती हूँ, मैं कैसे खोलूंगी restaurant उधर? He said, नहीं, तू top the restaurant खोल. I thought it was the impossible, absolutely the impossible thing Guruji is asking me. 2 hours away, 3 hours away, restaurant. It's not even our business. What do we do? Later on, my son got into manufacturing food. And his label became really the best label in the product. And his factory was in Manesar. So Guruji had predicted that many years before it actually took place. I didn't connect the dots till later on. Somebody said, isn't this what he was talking about? So Guruji gave us so much love, but he was very strict also. He would take no nonsense. Once he asked me to come early. He said, I'll bless you. So he told me to come at 6 o'clock. I was so excited that Guruji had asked me to come. So I reached there at 5:30, and there was a lady sitting outside. We were still waiting for the door to open before we were called inside the Chota Mandir. And there was a lady sitting there with her daughter, and she was very nervous. And she kept saying, will Guruji see me? Will Guruji see me? I thought this is a very odd question that she's asking me. I said, of course Guruji will see you. He's so loving and kind. He will see everybody who comes. She said, no. Will he see me? I'm very nervous. Just kept wondering, why is she saying that? What is the reason behind this? Then suddenly a loud voice comes from inside. Ask this lady to leave. And a man comes out from the mandir, and he said, Guruji has asked you to leave immediately. You cannot even stay here for 5 minutes. So she said, see, I told you, he won't allow me. I didn't understand what happened. So eventually she left. When she left, and I went in and I said, Guruji, क्या हो गया? वो तो बहुत आपको मिलना ही चाह रही थी और आप उससे मिले नहीं, क्या हुआ? So he was so livid. He was actually livid because the lady did tantric, and he did not want the energy of that to come anywhere around there. So that was the reason that Guruji was very strict. As he was loving, he was very strict also. And there was no way that he would have listened to that. Then twice I've heard Guruji recite the Bani non-stop, pages after pages after pages after pages. I mean, it was where there was no discourse, nothing. Suddenly he broke out into this huge, big discourse of the Bani. It was like somebody knows it bit bad. But of course, he's written it. He's the Maharaj. He's our Malik. Guruji, Shukrana, Shukrana. I think I've finished with what's coming to mind. I hope that is enough. जय गुरुजी, शुक्राना गुरुजी. अगर मैंने कुछ गलत बोला है, मुझे माफ कर दो.